This will hopefully clarify where I'm at regarding the whole YouTube FTC copper ordeal, along with the future of Runestone's reviews. I'm sure most watching are aware at this point, but for the sake of context, earlier this year, YouTube and Google were fined $170 million by the Federal Trade Commission, or FTC, for allegations surrounding the illegal collection of data from children under the age of 13, without explicit parental consent, basically for the sake of targeted advertising, even though the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, or COPPA, forbids the collection of such data. Since November, YouTube introduced a new system where users are now required to confirm whether both their channel as a whole and each individual video is either for kids or not for kids. There is the third channel setting which says, "I want to review this setting for every video," for those who feel their content alternates between the two. Though the system is in place as we speak, its actual effects won't kick in until January 2020. Videos marked as "for kids" will have certain features disabled, including but not limited to the comments section, end screens, the community tab, and of course the targeted ads themselves. The main point of contention that has everyone understandably panicked is that the FTC will supposedly be going through channels as a means to track down those misusing and/or abusing this new system. Regardless of whether or not you believe your content's been correctly categorized, if you, say, label a bunch of your videos as "not for kids" and the FTC watch those and say otherwise, at best, said videos, if not your entire channel, could be deleted. At worst, they could fine you for up to approximately $42,000 per video. Those are the basics, from what I understand. There has since been an update that I'll touch on later. Naturally, countless other YouTubers have posted their thoughts. Other Transformers reviewers such as TJ Omega, MGO, Optibotimus, Bolt Matrix, Ben's Collectibles. I've also seen videos by the likes of Jangbricks, Pixel Dan, Upper Echelon Gamers, Creator Fundamentals. There's a ton to watch, some of which go into more detail, so check those out when you can. But here I want to focus more on where this leaves me. And this is why I have to rip off the band-aid and say, I've essentially quit YouTube, and have removed all of my videos. I understand this will upset a lot of you, and I don't blame you in the slightest. But considering the potential alternatives, it's the option that I frankly feel the most comfortable with. Either way, it was quite the emotional punch to the gut. Melodramatic? Perhaps. But it doesn't really change that I've been doing this from 2007 to 2019. Over a decade. 359 videos. Well, 360 if you count this, I guess. Over 6,000 subscribers. And while I appreciate that it's that high, it's not so much a case of, I aim to be the biggest YouTuber or the most subscribed reviewer or whatever, but more for the solace that so many of you have followed and enjoyed my content over the years. There's also the interactions I've had with fellow Transformers reviewers, through YouTube, and the conventions I've attended. Some I've known since the beginning, others more recently. It's been a blast, and I've loved every minute of being a part of this community. And then this happens. Some have criticized similar responses and decisions saying, "You're overreacting, you need to take a chill pill, calm down, relax," and so forth, which, if I'm being honest, I find kind of insensitive. I get why they're saying it. They're trying to comfort and reassure other YouTubers, encouraging them to never give up, helping them persevere. That I don't have a problem with. I'm all for not freaking out myself. But at the same time, there are those who are rightfully concerned about the future of not just their channels, but also their very livelihoods. I know some laugh at the prospect, but there's no denying that many have built entire careers off of this site, and these restrictions and limitations will more than likely reduce income as well as hinder channel growth. Hell, the latter can even apply to those doing YouTube simply for a hobby. Regardless of each individual's circumstances, this whole thing is beyond infuriating and frankly disgusting, seeing how content creators, the ones who propped up YouTube in the first place, are now paying the price for something that isn't even their fault. Not helping is that, in the beginning at least, the guidelines for what classifies as for kids were extremely vague. Even with the FTC having since posted an update article on November 22nd, link in the description, elaborating on certain things and acknowledging potential grey areas, a lot are still unsure and not at all confident, which I also don't blame them for. Especially since, despite YouTube saying that it's up to us to categorize correctly, they're using machine learning to automatically flag and label videos, which, from what I've heard, we cannot dispute. To call this a train wreck is beyond an understatement. And even if this all somehow miraculously works out, which, to be fair, I hope it does, and my channel would have been safe in the long run, to be blunt, I don't trust YouTube anymore. And I know I'm not alone on that one. Despite my frustrations, I do want to clarify a few things. Firstly, I'm in no way protesting the actual copper law itself. I'm all for the protection of children online. Like many, I'm sure, I'm pretty much in the camp of supporting the cause, but not all that thrilled with how the situation's being handled. Second, this video was not intended to instill fear or spread panic. I'm not trying to encourage people to quit or boycott YouTube. I'm not even trying to dissuade newcomers from joining the site. I am simply explaining my stance. And while supporting one another and encouraging others to keep moving forward is most certainly a good thing, how each content creator decides to progress with this change is primarily down to them, and them alone. Lastly, and I cannot stress this enough, do not, I repeat, do not post anything that amounts to threats, harassment, etc. towards YouTube, the FTC, nobody, just don't even. While people may have every right to be angry about this, there's a difference between harsh but constructive criticism and outright attacking someone, and engaging in such destructive behavior is not acceptable under any circumstances. To end this on a positive note, although I have quit YouTube for the foreseeable future, I have not quit creating content as a whole. Right now I'm currently on Flare.tv, where I have two channels, one for past reviews, the other for new content. It'll take time, but things will eventually return to normal. Relatively speaking. Like I said, I sincerely hope that things work out for YouTubers out there, fellow Transformers reviewers included. I look forward to what you guys have in store. Hell, even my YouTube channel will still be up, mainly to post comments and whatnot. In any case, I honestly can't thank you all enough for the support you've given me these past 12 years. While I have fun doing this no matter what, it's ultimately you that makes it worthwhile. Just remember, this isn't goodbye, for I shall be reborn.